Are you looking for a crochet stitch that would be a great stitch to use on a blanket? If you are, the Granny V Stitch might just be the stitch for you. This is a stitch that has a lot of variation, whether you use multiple colors or just two. However many colors you use, it gives a great detail that looks the same on both sides, so that makes a great crochet blanket. It also works up really quickly, and you only need to know how to do two different types of crochet stitches. You have to know how to chain and double crochet stitch. If you're ready to learn, I'm Rachel from Hope Corner Farm, and by day I'm a home ec teacher who teaches hundreds of students how to crochet, and I'm going to teach you how to quickly work this crochet stitch. Let's grab a hook and some yarn, and we'll get crocheting. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you get notifications of when I post new videos, and don't forget to give me some feedback on this video. Give me a like or a comment, let me know what I did well or things that I could improve upon. So for the Granny V Stitch, you're going to have to gather a few things before you get started. So first off, you're going to have to grab a crochet hook of your choice. I am using a size I 5.5 millimeter crochet hook for this tutorial. You're going to need a yarn needle for weaving in your ends. You're going to need a pair of scissors, and I would say at least two different colors of yarn. I am using a medium weight size 4 yarn here in 2 different colors. You can go multiple colors. So this one has 5 different colors to it, this sample that I have here. It really depends on the look that you would like, however many colors you choose. So once you gather your things, we'll get started. For the Granny V Stitch, you are going to need to chain multiples of 3 plus 1 to start. So any multiple of 3 you can do, and then you just add 1 stitch to it. So this is for a chain start. So I'm going to start by placing a slip knot on my hook. And for this tutorial, I am going to chain 16. So my multiple of 3 is 15, and then I'm going to add 1 more. Now you can again choose whatever multiple you would like, but it has to be a multiple of 3 plus 1. If you need to see how to chain or double crochet in slower, more detailed moves, I've got videos for those below that take it a lot slower. So I'm going to begin by chaining 16. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So I have chained 16 to start. With the same color, we're going to work row 1. So for row 1, I'm going to begin by working into the 4th chain from my crochet hook. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to work into the 4th chain. So I like to put my thumb there. And into that 4th chain, I'm going to place a regular double crochet stitch. So I yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through. Now I've got 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. Now I've got 2 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. So I've completed a double crochet there. I also just want to point out that these skipped chains are going to count as a double crochet stitch in our stitch count. So they do count in the stitch count. So now I'm going to skip 2 chains. So skip, skip, and into the 3rd chain, I am going to place 3 double crochets. So there's 1 double crochet stitch, 2 going into the same chain, double crochet stitches, and a 3rd double crochet going into the same chain space. So I have put 3 double crochets into the same chain space. Now across this chain, I'm going to just keep repeating, skipping 2 chains. So I skip, and into that 3rd chain, I'm going to place 3 double crochet stitches. I'm going to do this until I have 3 stitches left in my row. So there's 1, 2, and 3 double crochet stitches all into the same chain stitch. I'm going to skip 2 chains, and this is my last chain that I'm going to put 3 into. So again, I'm going to put 3 double crochets into this 3rd chain. So here's 1, 2, and 3 double crochets all into that same chain stitch. Now I have 3 chains left. So I'm going to skip 2 like I have been. So skip, and into that last chain or that 3rd chain, I'm going to place 2 double crochet stitches. So that's the difference there. So I'm going to place 1 double crochet stitch and a 2nd double crochet stitch into that last chain. And that completes row 1. Now, you could just get a solid color look even as well and just keep using this same color all the way throughout, but I do like how it looks adding an accent color. So I'm going to bring in and I'm going to loop over my hook here, and I'm going to pull through that loop. I'm going to tighten, and then I'm going to cut off my first color here. Now with my new color, I'm going to begin by chaining 3. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to tighten everything up here after I've chained 3, and then I'm going to turn my work. And into this first stitch right here, I'm going to place a regular double crochet stitch. So I yarn over, insert into that stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now there's 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and into this middle double crochet, into the top of this middle double crochet here, I'm going to place a V stitch. So a V stitch is simply a double crochet followed by a chain 1 and then a double crochet all into the same stitch. So that is a V stitch there into that stitch. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and into the third I'm going to place another V stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet. I'm going to skip 2 stitches. I'm going to place a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all into the same stitch. Now I have 3 stitches left in my row, so 1, 2, and the top of this chain here is the third, and into that top of that chain right there, into that space right here, I'm going to place 2 double crochets. So I yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through. Now I've got 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and I'm going to repeat and put a second double crochet stitch into that same stitch, and that completes row 2. Now we're ready for row 3, and for a 2-color repeat, I bring back in my teal. I just want to point out again, if you are doing multiple colors here, so this would be my first color, so this is row 1, this is a row 2, so then for row 3 I brought in another color. You can do whatever you would like here, but I'm just doing a 2-row repeat for this tutorial. So I'm bringing back in color 1, and with color 1 I'm bringing it through the loop. I'm going to tighten everything up again. I'm going to chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3. After chaining 3, I'm going to cut off color 2. Now again, I'm going to tighten everything up, and I'm going to turn my work. And into that very first stitch right here, I'm going to place a regular double crochet stitch. Now I'm going to skip over into the middle of that V stitch, so right here into this space that was created by the chain 1 part of the V stitch. So I'm skipping over here, or you could look at it as skipping 2 stitches. So I'm skipping, working into here. And into that space, I'm going to work 3 double crochet stitches. This is also called the granny stitch here by working 3 double crochets into the same space. So I've put 3 double crochets into that V stitch there. Now I'm going to skip 2, and I'm going to come over here and work into this V stitch now. And I'm going to repeat. I'm going to put 3 double crochets into that V stitch. So there's 1, 2, and 3 into that V stitch. I'm going to skip 1, 2, come to the next V stitch, and place 3 double crochets into it. You're going to keep repeating until you have 3 stitches left for your row, so that's where I'm at this point. I have 1, 2, and the top of the turning chain counts as 3. So our turning chain does indeed count as a stitch. So we have 1, 2, and into the third stitch, or the top of the turning chain right here, I'm going to place 2 double crochet stitches. So here is 1 double crochet stitch, and here is a second double crochet stitch, and that completes row 3. For the remaining rows of the Granny V stitch, you're just going to keep repeating and alternating row 2 with row 3. So this, in essence, is a 2-row repeat crochet stitch. So now that I've completed a row 3, I would be repeating a row 2 here for this next one. So that's where I bring in my color for row 2. For this tutorial, it's this multicolored one, and I'd cut off my teal. And this is a repeat of where I would put V stitches into this row. So I'm going to tighten everything up. I'm going to chain 3. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Tighten, and turn, and into the first stitch here, I'm going to place a regular double crochet stitch. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, so skip, skip, and into the third, I'm going to place a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet stitch. So that's a V stitch. I'm going to skip, skip. I would place a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip 2, into the third, work a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then when you have 3 stitches left, you're going to skip 2, so skip and skip, and our last stitch is that turning chain, so into the top of that turning chain, I'm going to place 2 double crochet stitches, and that would complete my repeat of row 2. So then the next row, I would work and I'd bring in my other color here, and I would repeat row 3. Again, if you're doing multiple colors, each of these V-stitch rows are a row 2, and each of these colored rows that I have in this sample are a row 3. So that's a row 2, row 3, row 2, row 3, row 2, row 3, row 2, row 3, and so on until your project is done. So to finish the Granny V stitch, I would end with a row 3. So I'm ready for a row 3 here because I just completed a row 2. So I'm bringing in my color for my row 3. I'm going to pull it through the loop. I'm going to tighten everything up. I'm going to chain 3. So there's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to tighten everything and turn. I've already cut off my color from row 2. Into this first stitch here, I'm going to place a regular double crochet stitch. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and into the middle of that V stitch, I'm going to place 3 double crochets, which is a granny stitch. So there's 1, 2, and 3, all into that same V stitch. I'm going to skip over to the next V stitch, and into it, I'm going to place 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Skip 2 stitches, work into the next V stitch, and place 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then again, when you have 3 stitches left, 1, 2, and the chain does count 3, you're going to skip 2 and place 2 double crochets into the top of that turning chain into that last stitch. So there's 1 and 2. And that's how I would end the Granny V stitch, is with a row 3. Then you would just weave in your ends when you were done with your project. Now again, you can end with whatever color you would like. This one has multiple colors. It's totally up to you what you would like. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you get notifications of when I post new videos. And if you're looking for another fun granny stitch, check out my granny spike stitch tutorial right here. And I hope you guys have a blessed day.